Hello, my name is Lin Hu. This is Team 1E. We are doing the topic 1. So the country I'm doing is Japan. Japan is the third largest economy in the world after the United States and China. It is the fourth largest importers of US product after Canada, Mexico, and China. Japan is a key member of the international trade system, and this market respects the rule of law and provides strong protections for intelligence and real property rights. So, Japan's consumer economy is large, broad-based, and stable. Per capita income of $38,000 underpins its strength as a consumer market. Compared with China, Japan is not good enough because China has a huge population. Japan is highly dependent upon the imports of natural resources. For example, it is the world's largest net buyer of food production in the world. The United States is the leading supplier of the agricultures of imports. So in 2020, the Olympic and the Paralympic Games were started in Japan, which means the economic activity will be much more in Japan during the Olympic Games. So overall, Japan is a huge market and a stable market. It's quite easy for the other countries to get into the Japanese market. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Ashley Smith-Louis. I'm going to be covering England. My first point is going to be on the political system. England is run as a democracy. Since World War II, the party system has been used where members of parliament, MPs, represent a political party. The main political parties in England are the Labour Party and the Conservative Party. The current Prime Minister is Theresa May, and she is a part of the Conservative Party. Change seems to be on the horizon for England. Theresa May has made steps for England to become independent from the European Union, which is called Brexit. This would have a major effect on England's multinational businesses due to not having to follow the European Union rules and regulations. Also, with England becoming independent, this may affect multinational businesses like Tesco's, who could see a decrease in profit due to trade barriers, which is yet to be dealt with within Brexit. Religion. In early England, majority of the people followed the English Christian Church, which was overseen by the Pope at that time, living in Rome. Later on, changes were made by King Henry VIII, who established an independent Church of England. Currently, England hosts a wide range of religions, from Christianity, Judaism, and Islam. These are just some of the religions followed in England. There has been a steady increase in religious diversity in England over the last 2 centuries, seeing more non-Christian faiths receiving civil rights to protect themselves. Economics. One of the biggest economic influences on England's economy was Baroness Thatcher, who changed the economy. There was a lot of opposition to this idea, but without her, England would still be known as the sick man of Europe. This was achieved by strict budgetary policies which aim to control public spending and hold tight a monetary stance. At this moment of time, the future economic development of England is in the balance, and it hinges on Brexit and how well it is received. If the result is negative, we could see a massive decrease in the English GDP, and in the worst case scenario, multinational businesses may implement survival tactics like closing stores across England to cut expenses. Comparison. England has a wider diversity of cultures than Japan. British women have have children and go to work, whereas Japanese women are expected to quit work and become full-time housewives. Thank you, I've been Ashley.
Hi, my name is Daniel and I'm going to be talking about the USA. Ever since its founding, the USA has been known as a melting pot. This means a place where people from all different cultures and all different backgrounds can come and live and make a life for themselves. The idea of a melting pot has become a massive part of American culture. However, this cultural aspect has been damaged by the President Donald Trump travel ban to the following countries: Iran, Iraq, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, Syria and Yemen. This travel ban has led to numerous international businesses that operate out of the US, such as Apple, Google, Netflix and Amazon, all speaking out against it. Apple CEO Tim Cook said Apple would not exist without immigration, let alone thrive and innovate the way we do. This suggests or shows that this policy is damaging and upsetting the business practice, some of the business practices in the US. Since Donald Trump was elected president, the dollar has been headed on a downward trend, and 1 year on from his election victory, the value of the dollar has decreased 9% in value. This trend cannot be allowed to continue, as a weak dollar leads to increased costs and a decrease in purchasing power, both of which leads to less money going into the economy and reduction in economic growth. One of the biggest differences between USA and China is the quality of living standards. The quality of living standards in the US have always been significantly higher than those of the ones in China. This has led to much cheaper labour in China, as Chinese employers are not expected to pay their employees as much. This has also led to big companies being lured over to China for cheaper labour so that they can save money. Thank you, I've been Daniel.
Hi, this is Pranay. Today I'm going to talk about India. So India is not only one of the fastest growing country in the world, it is also the world's third largest economy and ranks 39 among 138 countries in World Business Ranking. So country's economy is expected to grow by 60% annually. Over past 20 years, multinational companies have made considerable inroads in Indian markets, but many have failed to realize their potential. Some have succeeded, while others have not maximized economies of scale. So UK is the third largest investor in India. So India is opening its vast consumer base to international firms which are going through a period of unusual economic liberation. It is a difficult place to do business without having local help. So rather than simply imposing global business models and practices, the key to reach next level for multinationals will be learning to do business the Indian way, which requires long-term strategy to be successful. It is a trend that many multinational companies follow in China. So ownership structure is one of the first and the most important issues for multinational doing business in India. So India has a strong export sector, political stability and well-developed banking system which help companies to expand their business. Companies such as Coca-Cola, L'Oreal, PepsiCo have made a large profitable investment in India, whereas many companies have withdrawn or are absent. E-commerce has transformed the way the business is done in India. There will be an increase in India's total internet users to 829 million by 2021. So the total online spending is expected to increase by 31% every year, and Indian consumer internet market is expected to grow by 44% every year. So multinationals can enter the Indian market with lower risk and investment with more profitability through e-commerce. 70% of the market share in internet consumer market is by online travel agents, while the remaining 30% is by fashion, hotel, and education technology, etc. Future of many multinational depends on their ability to succeed in India, as it accounts for more than 20% of the global revenue growth. Thank you.
So hi guys, today I'm going to talking about I'm Jia Chen, and today I'm going to talking about the economics of China. So China is the second biggest economy group from nominal GDP at the moment, and also China is the world's fastest growing major economy with 10% over 30 years until 2015. The Chinese economic mode is very special compared with the other countries, like the old Western capitalist countries, but also different from the traditional socialist countries like Russia. And the Chinese economic mode is quite different, like what I just said. And China is a socialist country. It's different from the others. The political system and the economic systems are different, are separate. In politics, China is totalitarianism, but in economics, it's market economy. The Chinese government maintains a high degree of control over the economy, but it's hard to return to socialism. So China has developed a hybrid form of capitalism in which it has opened its economy to some extent, but it also ensures that government controls strategic industries. Like even they privatize many state firms, but the government still have the biggest and most powerful firms. Like the likely future economic development. So China has 20% of the world's population. As people get richer, they will become bigger consumers. More companies will try to steal this market, the largest market in the world, and they will tailor their products to Chinese taste. But there also may be some disadvantage. It's like something like government spending create a total debt to GDP ratio of 260%. Like the high growth level have comes the cost of consumer safeties. It also created a class of ultra rich people that makes the gap between rich and poor getting bigger. And thanks for listening. This is Group 1E. I hope you enjoy the video.